Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to film a get ready with me and show you the hair, makeup, and the outfit that I wore to my brother-in-law's wedding last weekend. I so badly wanted to film the actual process on the day of, but you guys know how weddings are. It was a little bit hectic that morning. I also wasn't getting ready in my usual space. I wasn't at home. I was staying in a hotel with the rest of the family, so it was just impossible. So I thought that I would try and recreate the look that I wore today. So I'm gonna start off with my hair. I've already blow dried it, and whenever there's an event or I want my hair to look really good and hold whatever style I'm doing, I will blow dry with some type of mousse or like a gel foam before I start, which I did use today, which is gonna give my hair a little bit of grit or just basically more hold whenever I style it. So today I'm gonna curl it. You can see it's a little fluffy, needs a little bit of love right now, so I'm gonna get my curling iron and we're gonna get started. Now to curl my hair, I'm gonna be using this wand from T3. I love this thing. And this is the largest barrel in the box. So I don't even remember exactly which, actually I have the box, hold on one second. I'm using the Whirl Trio styling wand from T3 and the largest barrel, which is the 1.5 inch barrel, which gives you a nice loose wave, which it did. I kept it tight while I was doing my makeup, which I'll show you, and then I brushed it out and it gave me a nice wave. Got my hair parted the way I want. What I did that morning was I went through the sections of my hair where I wanted volume and I backcombed. Because I find it too hard to do this after your hair is curled. It really messes up your curls and kind of makes them look frizzy, so I'd rather do it now rather than after. All right, now that it's time to curl, I'm going to section up my hair to make things easier. So I'm gonna take about this much and clip this up. I'm sure you guys have seen a ton of curling hair videos, but I will just quickly show you my take on it. So I am just going to alternate curls. So away from the face, towards the face, away from the face, towards, all throughout my head of hair. But for the sections that are closest to my face, I'm always gonna make sure that these are away. Hair is done. I acknowledge I look all types of crazy, but I'm okay with that. I've just kind of pinned my hair up a little just so that it holds that curl and like that shape a little bit. And now I'm going to move on to the face. So I'm gonna prep my skin with the TATCHA water cream. I've been using this for the last month or so and I really like it. I got it during the Sephora summer, like the surprise summer VIB sale, which I ended up spending more money than I needed to, but that dang Sephora, it gets you every time. Now I'm gonna go in and fill in my brows using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in shade number 5. And I like to do this before I do the rest of my makeup just because I feel like it just works out better for me when I do my brows first. Now I'm going to use some concealer on my eyelids to blank out the darkness or any discoloration I have up here, because I'm actually going to do the eyes first, which actually was a really good idea because I used a little bit of sparkle or shimmer with one of the shadows, so I was easily able to wipe that away and then do my foundation afterwards. And then I just think that if you're doing makeup for a special occasion where you're a little bit more nervous, you want it to turn out, I think doing your eyes first is always a way to go in case you mess up and then you don't have to take off your whole face. Trust me, I've been there before. Then I took my Fenty bronzer in the shade Private Island and I used this in my crease as kind of like a transition color and to just start warming up the eye. So I just pop this right here in the hollow, wherever my brush could fit, and I just traced over this until I felt like there was enough color on there. That color is pretty warm because obviously it's a bronzer. So to kind of cool things off a little bit, just so that it looks a little bit more, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, cool toned, a little bit more like a natural shadow, I went into my old school Tartlet palette. You can see this has been well loved. I used to use it, oh my gosh, I am so sorry for how dirty it is. I used to use this all the time, but I took a little bit of this shade right here. It's called Dreamer. It doesn't look like it's that cool of a brown, but just kind of looks like a natural shadow. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this into the crease and go over where I used that bronzer just to kind of shape things and define things a little bit. This is what I think added a little bit of definition when it came to photos. Okay, it's looking pretty smoky. Things are definitely darker now. I'm just going over all the edges to make sure, again, there's no harsh lines. And then now I think I'm just gonna take, I think I did take that same brown and just lightly brought that onto the lid, just on the outer edge. So just light flicks back and forth and then connecting it up into the crease. Blend, blend, blend. Now don't be mad because I'm gonna get into another palette here, but I took enough palettes with me so that I was covered for anything that I wanted to do. But I'm gonna pop now into the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm just showing you guys what I did. I took this bronzy shadow right here. It's like a bronzy shimmer. And I popped that on the lid where basically I stopped that last dark color. And I just blended those two together. And then I kind of brought it towards the middle of the lid. And then I took this lighter, like, it's like a light gold, champagne gold, and I popped that in the inner tear duct here, connecting to the lash shadow. Nothing too crazy complicated. Might seem like a lot of shadows, but again, this is what I did. And there's still one more. I took this new, it's a little messy right now, this new palette that I just got in the mail from Charlotte Tilbury. It's called the Pillow Talk Luxury Palette of Pops. And I took this one right here. It's very shimmery, and I just thought that that would be a nice touch to finish off the eyes. And I just popped a little bit of that in the tear duct. And it kind of has a little bit of a pinky hue to it. So over top of the gold, I just thought it was nice and it balanced out the eye because I was wearing a silver dress. Moving on to eyeliner, I made my day a little bit easier by doing a base for liner first. So I used a brown pencil and just lightly went over my lash line, very close to my lashes, just so that it wasn't anything that I had to correct later, like the line wasn't too crazy. And then over top, I'm gonna go in with the MAC Fluidline in Blacktrack. This used to be my eyeliner of choice. It still is for fancy occasions or when I wanna get done up. You use it with an angled brush, that one right here. This is also from MAC. And it just gives you a lot more precision, I find sometimes this way than when I use like a liquid liner. And I also like the finish of this a lot better. It's really, really black and it's more of a matte look. All right, my wings are on. I can breathe again. I think they're even. I hope they're even. It's something I can always come back and fix once the rest of my makeup's on. But now I'm gonna move on to lashes. I did wear a pair of falsies and I chose these ones from ARDELL. The type is Natural. Ever since I tried it, I've been obsessed with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I did do a full video on this, so if you want to see that, I will link it for you right now in the cards, and I'll put a link to it in my description box if you want like my full take on it. And I would totally watch that though if you are wanting to check this product out, because it really goes into depth with how flawless it makes your skin. And I still have my blemishes. In that review video, I had 1 blemish here. I now have 2 total here. And another one just popped out this morning. I don't know what's going on, but that's the sitch. Now that I've got that little concoction on there, I went in with my LANCOME Teint Idole Ultra Wear makeup stick, and this is in the shade 460 Suede. So it's a much darker color than my skin tone. But what I did with this is I used this to contour up the sides of my, or like the contours of my face. So right underneath the cheekbones. And I just start with less product, so there's not so much to blend out all at once, because that's overwhelming for me. And then I actually find it harder to do it that way. And then I also bring some onto the temples and just slightly around my hairline, blending it in so that it warms this area up as well, and it adds a nice contoured look here. Now for concealer, I'm gonna use the Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced and apply this underneath the eyes. And I don't know if I've mentioned this in a video before, but with this concealer, it's pretty liquidy at first. I really like it for coverage, and it gives it actually a really natural but full coverage look. But what I like to do is first apply it, then just kind of tap it out a little bit with my brush. And then what I'll do is I'll just leave it, and I'll give it a few minutes to just dry down, kind of soak into the skin. And I find that I get more coverage that way, and then it just blends out even better. In the meantime, let's work on something else. I'm gonna do my lips. I line them first with my MAC Spice lip pencil. And then I use this new lipstick from Lancome, and it's called the L'Absolu Rouge in Ruby Passion. It's a cream lipstick, and I just applied this to the center of the lips. And then I'm just gonna blend it in with my finger. Okay, back to my concealer before it fully dries in, although probably not, because this is a pretty liquidy concealer. Just gonna blend it out with my beauty blender. Make sure there's no lines. And then I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade number 2 and tap that first underneath the eyes to make sure this is set in place, because this is the one area that's going to crease, so I like to get powder on it first to prevent that from happening. And then I'll take some and tap it all around the rest of my face. Now, one more thing that I did for this occasion, just to make sure that my skin was really set and flawless and bright, especially underneath the eyes, I took some of this Dermablend loose setting powder, and I just kind of, I guess you could say, stamped it underneath my eyes. For some, they would call this baking. For me, I don't know if I would call it baking. Kind of, I guess it kind of is, but I don't leave mine on for as long as I know many other people do, because it just gives me too dry of a look underneath there, and that's not really the look I'm going for. But I do want it to look bright, so I just apply it just like that, and now I go in and wipe it away right away, so it doesn't have too much time to dry it. My SD card filled up right as I was saying something about how brushing it away doesn't leave your skin looking too dry, and then it cut out. But we're back. This is what the skin looks like after I press the powder into my skin. And now I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, and I'm gonna use that same Fenty bronzer in the shade Private Island and just kind of sculpt up my cheeks a bit, warm up the skin. Basically just going over the areas that I used that darker cream stick earlier. And for blush, I use the Benefit California, and I'm just gonna apply this to the apples and just kind of do like a figure 8 going back on the cheek. And finally, I think they'll only, actually there's 2 more things I gotta do, but highlighter. So I took, there's this little highlighter set that I have from Pure Cosmetics. It's called the Sparkle and Shine Bright little trio. I think this was a limited edition thing a few months ago, but I've been using the center one, and it's just this really nice, pretty goldy highlighter. So I just pop that on the cheekbones. I'm gonna go back to this messy Tartlet palette, and I'm gonna take some of the shade Dreamer, that dark brown, and I'm just gonna rim my lower lash line with it. And just in the inner tear duct, I'm gonna take some of that shimmer that I used over top of the inner part of my eye here, and just run some of that, just so it has a nice little pop in the center of the eye. All right, and I would say that that is definitely the gist of how my makeup went down the other day. Now I just gotta finish off the hair. So I'm taking some of Andy, my husband's SUAVECITO matte pomade. Fun fact, he doesn't actually like the matte one so much because he says, I think he said it doesn't hold as good as the glossy one does. But I took a little bit of this and I rubbed it together, and then I added like 1, maybe 2 drops, oh this is gonna be real sticky, of the BUMBLE Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. I brushed it through the ends of the hair to loosen up the curl, but I find that the pomade gives it something still to stick to so I don't lose it fully, and then the oil is what kind of gives my hair a little bit of a gloss. All right, hair is zhuzhed. The dress is on. I don't know how I'm gonna give you a full look at this, but I also thought maybe it would be cool because I am actually gonna post a photo of my look on the day that this video comes out on my Instagram. So if you are not following me yet, go to Instagram. My username is Trina. Follow me, you can see the dress. And then I will also post some of the stories, because I still haven't posted stories from that day of the wedding and all that. So go check out my Instagram. Here's the finished hair and makeup look. I'll show you a little bit of the dress. I'll show you a little sneak peek. It was silver, a little bit of ruching right here. It was just, honestly, it was so pretty. I found this dress right away when I was looking for, dresses, and I compared every dress to this one. And I thought that for like a fall wedding, it had sleeves, I like the color, I love the dress, and so none other compared to this one, and this is the one that I went with. So if you want to see the full look, because it has a slit, go check out my Instagram. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and come back next week for a brand new one, and I will see you all then.